Logan Paul has stated that 2022 was the best year of his life.
2022, the best year of my life.
Well, I'm gonna hazard a guess that 2023 might be the worst year of his life. He has just been slapped with a class action lawsuit in Texas in connection with his CryptoZoo scam. In addition, numerous arbitration claims have been filed against him, also in connection with CryptoZoo in Delaware. And I will explain later why there's a class action trial and all these arbitration claims. But before we get into that, I want to give you a breakdown on how we got to this point, what CryptoZoo is, why is it that Logan Paul seems to be able to scam his community, his fans, over and over with his endless scams, and he seems to just get away with it. I always try to be neutral on my channel because I am a licensed attorney in California and all these opinions are my own, but I have a hard time staying neutral when there are bad actors like Logan Paul who just seem to scam his fans over and over again. And I'm going to guess that this time he's not going to get away with it. These are serious class action lawsuits. Arbitration claims are basically just private lawsuits that go in front of an arbitrator and not a judge or jury. So at the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, there is this investigative reporter who goes by the name of CoffeeZilla, and his name is Steven, and he does amazing work basically uncovering scammers, people like Sam Bankman-Fried and his FTX scam, people like Andrew Tate and his Hustler University scam. So CoffeeZilla has spent the last year investigating Logan Paul and his CryptoZoo scam to find out what the heck happened with this seemingly cool sounding game that over a 2-year period just never seemed to come to fruition. Like, what was going on? And Logan Paul just kept stringing his fans along, saying it's coming. You just wait, you guys. And his team would say like, oh, just wait. You know, Logan's going to push this. Logan's going to market this. It's going to be amazing. All the while, in the background, Logan and his team were buying these zoo tokens secretly and then selling them and basically scamming his fans out of millions of dollars. I think the number of CryptoZoo victims are up and over 20,000, and the amount that I have heard reported is anywhere from 15 to 17 million. Now, a fellow YouTube lawyer by the name of Attorney Tom has come out and stated that he is representing a big class of CryptoZoo victims who have suffered damages at the hand of Logan Paul, his team, and their CryptoZoo scam.
I just want to disclaim, at this point in time, I represent a significant number of CryptoZoo victims.
I'm not going to spend an hour going into the facts, but I will give you guys a quick breakdown for those of you who don't know Logan Paul. I mean, he's pretty well known. He has over 24 million subscribers on YouTube. He is a boxer. He is a wrestler. He just created a beverage company with KSI. And apparently in their launch, they have made $250 million per his 2022 video of why it was the best year of his life.
Just the first year, Prime has done 250 million in retail sales. That's actually insane.
When I was watching that video, I kept waiting for him to talk about CryptoZoo, but guess what? He didn't. But it just sounded awfully tone deaf to me for him to be talking about how great his year was when there are all these people, some of them teenage boys, some of them their dads, who have lost thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars per person on his CryptoZoo scam.
I lost around $50,000 in CryptoZoo.
I lost $40,000.
I lost around $15,000 US.
I lost $25,000.
$120,000.
Ironically, he started it after his Dink Doink scam, where he also scammed people out of money by supporting this crypto scam, for lack of a better word. I mean, I think we'll do a counter and see how many times I say the word scam, but that's basically what this is, right? It's a scam. They call it a rug pull, right? So what is a rug pull in crypto? A rug pull is a type of crypto scam where a team or an influencer here pumps up the value of a token, gets a whole bunch of investors to invest in the token, pull the value out, and leaves all of their investors with a valueless token, basically. And this is what Logan Paul is being accused of with CryptoZoo. Now, what is CryptoZoo?
CryptoZoo.co. I am so excited about this project. It's so fun. It's a really fun game that makes you money.
And honestly, it sounds like a great game, but as the launch date came and went in September of 2021, nothing happened. And people are wondering, what is going on? Logan Paul has stated that, you know, he's out of pocket $1 million. There's a whole team of developers. There are, 10 artists working on original art.
We have a massive team behind it and are probably out of pocket like $1 million just because we believe it's going to work.
So as time passed and the art was being shared, it just seemed like it was Adobe photoshopped stock footage of animals. Didn't seem that special. And then Logan Paul states that his developer, who goes by the name of Z as CoffeeZilla, uses his name to protect his identity, has run off to Europe with his code and is holding his code hostage for $1 million. Now, as CoffeeZilla did a little more digging, he found out that that really wasn't the case. The case was that Logan Paul had not paid the developer, and so yes, the developer was holding the code until he was paid. This was verified by another development team that came in and was also not paid. I believe they were called Blockchain Group. And so Logan Paul showed this history of not paying his developers, not seeming to have hired any artists. Of course, he blames this on everybody else, right? He blames it on this guy named Eddie Ibanez, who was supposed to be in charge of all the developers. He turned out to be a scammer as well, who lied about going to MIT and having worked for the government and having won a Super Bowl, even though he wasn't a football player. And of course, Logan Paul just keeps saying, well, it's my fault for trusting in these people.
There's so much going on behind the scenes. Like, Doug, I'm not the bad guy here.
Yeah.
There's some actual out there.
Yeah.
And it's not me. Like, I'm here to build.
A true CEO of a company doesn't get to hide behind the fact that, oh yeah, I hired bad people. Well, yeah, it's your responsibility. You hired the managers who ended up hiring the people below them. So it's not a great excuse. I mean, Logan Paul, throughout the whole debacle, just never took any responsibility. Honestly, if CoffeeZilla hadn't done his 3-part expose, there were many months where Logan Paul was just completely silent. And then he came out and said, oh yeah, I'm like working on this huge project. And so when all the CryptoZoo investors were thinking, well, he must be talking about finishing the game or something better or cooler that's going to save this game or amplify this game. And it turned out to be this project called 99 Originals.
I'll tell you about this project when we get closer to launch.
Yeah.
This project of mine is going to be...
Is that the thing with the egg? The zoo?
No.
Okay, this one's
This one's going to be it, yeah.
So after CoffeeZilla released his first 2 videos, Logan Paul comes out with his own video, which has now been deleted, basically screaming that he was going to sue CoffeeZilla for defamation and that this was just wrong, and CoffeeZilla doesn't have facts.
He is a lopsided journalist with an agenda, and he's nothing more than the Keemstar of crypto and finance.
And honestly, as an attorney, I'm thinking to myself, where is his attorney and why isn't he being guided by his team? The most common defense to defamation is the truth. And what Logan Paul doesn't realize is if he tries to sue CoffeeZilla, there's something called discovery, right? That CoffeeZilla would be privy and have a right to all of the information in connection with CryptoZoo, probably all of Logan Paul's finances in connection with CryptoZoo. And if all that were handed over to CoffeeZilla, I mean, this would just show all of the lies that Logan Paul has told to the world and to his fans and to his investors throughout this CryptoZoo scam over the last 2 years. So I think somebody must have told him what a lawsuit actually means, because very quickly he deleted that video and then came out and said he wasn't going to sue CoffeeZilla after all.
CoffeeZilla is not a criminal. I called him, I apologized.
He actually came out with an apology to CoffeeZilla on his second channel, by the way, his smaller channel, the one that people don't watch as much, saying that he was thankful to CoffeeZilla and that he's going to look into what happened. He's going to offer rewards. Listen to what he says here.
We want to offer a rewards program for players who are disappointed in the status of the games.
He's going to finish the game.
See, even though I've said it's coming so many times, you've assumed that CryptoZoo isn't being made. Who are you to decide when the development timeline ends?
CryptoZoo is still coming, guys.
Now, to be honest, I don't have much faith that this game is going to be finished, because Logan Paul would have to actually focus on something and spend more money. And honestly, there is a YouTuber who decided to take on the task of finishing the game or creating the game, and it took him a few hours, 3 hours. It took this YouTuber by the name of Yippee 3 hours to make the CryptoZoo game. He calls it Real Zoo. Now, he did have help of a friend who's an artist, but the game works in 3 hours. So people cannot comprehend. I do not understand why it took Logan Paul over 2 years to make a game with 30 developers and 10 artists and millions of dollars when it took a YouTuber 3 hours to make the game. So what does this all mean? So the lawsuit from Attorney Tom is going two parallel tracks. One are the arbitration claims that are being filed in Delaware. There are two sets of terms and conditions. One was the original one that came out with the CryptoZoo website that didn't state anything about arbitration or class action waivers. And then there was a second set of terms and conditions that were put into place probably somewhere around January of 2022. In this second set of standard terms and conditions, it states that all users of the website, as well as investors, they waive their rights to a trial in front of a judge or jury, and all disputes must go through arbitration, go through JAMS, which is a very respected arbitration company. Arbitration basically just means a private lawsuit, right? It goes in front of an arbitrator and the arbitrator decides on the facts. But it is closed off to the public. We don't actually get to see what happens in arbitration. Trials are different. Trials are open to the public. Depending on some jurisdictions and judges, some might make them closed trials, but most trials are open to the public. Now, Attorney Tom is representing a bunch of victims of CryptoZoo, and he has filed individual arbitration claims in Delaware because that's what he needs to do. But just last week, Attorney Tom filed a class action in Texas. And you might be wondering, well, how is he able to do that? And here's why. Texas allows broader consumer protections, and they do not allow a unilateral acceptance of arbitration. There has to be an acceptance mutually of both parties to those new terms. And so Attorney Tom, who is licensed in Texas, is able to bring this class action on behalf of victims of CryptoZoo who are residents of Texas. So if you want to be part of this class action, you actually have to be a resident of Texas, because other states like California and Illinois do not offer this type of broad consumer protection, which I was kind of surprised about because I thought California would have it, but they don't. So having these various different arbitration claims might on the surface sound like a good idea, but I think it's actually going to cost Logan Paul more money to have to defend each individual arbitration claim. And at some point, it's possible JAMS might state, you know what, we're just going to consolidate all this because all of the claims are the same. So these are the allegations in the arbitration claims in Delaware. Fraud, express breach of contract, implied breach of contract, unjust enrichment, violation of Delaware's prohibited trade practices, negligence, fraudulent misrepresentation, conspiracy to commit fraud. So the arbitrator who works for Jams in Delaware might say, you know what, these 100 claims that you guys have filed, that you, Attorney Tom, have filed, all are the same allegations against a single entity, CryptoZoo, and potentially, the other defendants like Logan Paul and his manager and assistant and Jake, the Crypto King, all are the same case. So we're just going to combine them. That's something that's possible, right? That the arbitrator might do that to save time and resources. And as for the class action in Texas, I can see a bunch of victims of CryptoZoo who are residents of Texas joining that lawsuit. The plaintiff there is a police officer by the name of Don Holland, who is asserting the class action on behalf of all victims of CryptoZoo in Texas. So I will come back and let you all know what's going to happen. Logan Paul has a history of not owing up and taking responsibility for his mistakes. I mean, this is a man who showed a dead body in Japan for views. This is a man who is a role model to teenage boys because he does crazy body slams when he wrestles. So I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen because Logan Paul, I don't think 2023 is going to be a great year for you.